All right, welcome back to Sessions with Mary Jane. I'm your host, Jordan Freed, and I am fried. We are back after a long hiatus. I think our last episodes were about a year ago, but we decided to revive the podcast with the help of the Gotham Production Studios. Gotham Studios, shout out. We are in Midtown Manhattan, and we are going live. Well, not live, recorded. We'll see you soon. But I am excited to be back. Rena and Brendan send their love.
You are fried.
Yeah, I am fried. No. Brendan's in Virginia. He is living happily down there, doing a lot of improv stuff. Catch some of his shows if you have a chance. And then Rena is still in Jersey doing a lot of improv shows with Junk Mail Improv. So try to catch a show when you can of hers. Today we have a very special guest to keep with that New Jersey thread. We have the wonderful and hilarious and innovative New Jersey comedian, Kate Lawler.
Thank you. This is the first time I've ever been called innovative. So.
Oh yeah, no, you are an innovator.
Thank you.
No, you're an entrepreneur. You're doing a lot of different things, and you put yourself out there, and you make big things happen.
I really do.
So I guess we'll like not bury the lead.
Oh, okay.
You have a big
thing
coming up. You're going to be very busy. You're probably stressing hardcore right now.
Actually, yes.
You are the founder, creator, and procurer of the Eyes Up Here Comedy Festival,
yes,
right?
The one and only. That's me. And it is next month, and it is all going to be in New Jersey this year. And
when she says next month, she means July.
July of 2025. Yes. It is 4 nights, and it's 3 competitions and then 1 grand finale at the Williams Center in Rutherford, New Jersey, headlined by Brittany Brave. Yeah.
So that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, Brittany Brave's pretty big.
Yeah.
I used to work at the Williams Center,
yes,
so I know
you do. I know how the show came to be.
I know how wonderful the Williams Center is and how great of a place it is for comedy when that room in Spring Hall is really packed out. And yeah, I'm excited for you to bring it there, and I'm excited for the festival to be back. Yeah, no, I was in the festival last year.
Yes,
went out to Philly, and it was really fun.
Yeah, we road tripped to Philly together.
Yeah.
I felt like that car ride could have been a podcast, and now
for sure. Now we're running it back.
Yes, exactly.
A little bit shorter. Yeah, the ride out to Philly was long, but that was a fun show. I love going out to Philly.
It was a very good vibe. It was just... I feel like the night was electric, like, for comedy, and then just, like, the energy and, like, the hangs after. But I'm excited to hopefully have that this year again, just not in Philly, in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How did you start the Eyes Up Here Festival, and what's kind of the lore behind it?
So I guess, I don't know, a couple years ago after I started producing, I, like, noticed, like, because I'm really good friends with, like, the guys who run, like, the Staten Island Comedy Festival, and I had so much fun, like, doing that, and, like, I was, like, saying to, like, all my friends who run shows in Jersey, I was like, we should, like, have a festival, and, like, just no one wanted to do it, and then, but I always, like, liked the idea, and then I don't know, I love planning events, and, like, anytime, and I just had this one, like, year where, like, anytime something I planned was over, I was like, well, what's the next thing? And I had, like, a really good anniversary show, and then I was like, what if I just made a 4-day festival? And then I did. I was like, what's the next thing I could do? And then that was it. And here we are 3 years later. So
what have been, like, the greatest challenges of doing the entire festival?
Like, all of it. Like,
it's all challenging.
It's all pretty hard. It is hard. It's like, it's hard to, like, get people to answer emails. I've had, like, headliners pull out the day of. I've had, like, venues not tell me that, like, we had low ticket sales for a show. Sometimes it's hard to get like, your name out there. It's hard to also like get people to be interested and submitting. Comedians are difficult. Like comedians will like reach out and like harass you on like your personal social media over like it's an independent festival.
Yeah.
Like ultimately we're talking about a couple bar shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with great vibes.
yeah, it's great vibes.
They
like,
are missing out on the vibe.
that is the thing I really do think that is my biggest like selling point just in every aspect of my life is I bring the vibes.
Yeah. What has been your like biggest like personal reward of doing the festival? Because like obviously it's a very independent festival. You're not doing that for money.
Yeah.
What's your like favorite part about doing that type of stuff?
I don't know. Like it's all like highs and lows too, because I feel like each show is again an entirely different vibe. So I think like the first year I did it, one of the shows was like outside. And, like, the headliner was on. And it was just, like, an electric crowd. And I had, like, there were so many comics there that, like, I had never met that were, like, doing, like, my show, like, submitted. And then, like, I just kind of, like, just got all, like, teary-eyed, like, during it, like, knowing, like, this is, like, what comedy is, like, supposed to be. Just, like, I don't know. It's, like, a great celebration of, like, people that I feel like I bring them all together, like, and so I'm just going to go with that. I'm also very fried as well. I'm like,
you're doing good.
Oh, thank you. I'm like saying words and I like actually don't know what they are.
No, you're killing it. The weed is like driving the ship. Since you are a producer yourself, what are some other comedy shows that like you've loved to perform on? Like some of the local Jersey shows.
I would say
shout them out.
I would say Colonial right now in Morristown. I think that's probably our strongest show in the scene right now. Like that's ran by Mike Fablosian and I want to say Sean Downey, and it's not. It's a guy. That's a guy from like my Sean. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea who you're talking about. I haven't been booked on the show, so I don't know who you're talking about. I do know Philozobian.
I've had so many conversations. I've known this man for years. Hold on.
It'll come to you. It'll come to you for sure.
What is it?
No, Morristown's a cool town. I feel like they have a lot of
Sean Flynn.
Oh,
Flynn, not Downey. Flynn. I combined like Pat Downey and Sean Flynn because there's a guy from my town named Sean Downey.
Wow.
Okay.
That is some deep linguistic math.
Okay, yeah. But it's a very good show, and they treat their comics very well.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like packed. It's at this like a Freemason. Like, do you know what they are? I like barely know what they are, but it's an actual like Freemasons club
very into the
in
Freemasons. I've done a lot of research on the Freemasons. I have books on the Freemasons.
And it was like 100 like people. Like they get, or maybe it's not 100. It's well over 50. Like they pack it out at this random Freemasons club, and then like the guys were talking to us. It's something.
They were trying to recruit you. Do they accept women in
that
one?
They do. Like, there's, like, women there who are like, yeah, we were, like, interests and stuff. And I guess. I could be a Freemason, do you think? I really don't know what they are.
No, 100%. You could definitely be a Freemason.
Are they, like... Well, what's their whole... Are they, like, conspiracy theorists? Or is it that there's conspiracy theorists
there's conspiracy
about them?
theories about
Oh, like, they, like, run, like, the world and stuff is what one of them was telling me.
Yeah, I think, like, there's not causation, but I think, yeah, people have conspiracies that, like, there's a lot of Freemasons who run the world and stuff like that, which is just, like, people in clubs run the world.
I was about to say...
They know a lot of people.
Is it just a social club? Like...
And service. Social and service.
Oh.
They're like supposed to be upstanding for their community, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's why they like rent out the hall and like they do charity work, to my knowledge.
Do they have them like all over? Are there a lot?
All over, yeah. Warwick, New York has one. Like Rutherford has one.
Oh wow.
I've lit New Orleans. Obviously
maybe I could book a show.
I've been in all places that have like Freemasons. Yeah. No. There's comics who are Freemasons. I won't out them on here.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Just look at some people's tattoos.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
God.
it'll make sense too. It makes a lot of sense when you know.
Oh wow.
This is like some deep New Jersey comedy.
No
like,
way.
Conspiracy right now. If people are watching it and they're gonna get it. Yeah.
They're gonna get it.
No, word. So when did you start doing comedy?
When I was 19, I was a theater major, and I was like not even sure I wanted to do that anymore. I just wanted to like start like working in like music, like behind the scenes, like concert promotion and stuff. And I took a class in college that was called Fundamentals of Comedy that I thought was going to be like improv, because that's like a big part of like acting and theater. And it turned out that it was a stand-up class, and I had to do stand-up like my second day, and then that was it. Like I just never wanted to do anything else. Like every other like passion or career choice I thought about was like gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Kismet.
What school was it?
William Patterson.
William Patterson.
The program no longer exists, but they're trying to make it like a STEM school. But I had a lot of fun. I took writing for prime time, writing for like late night. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. Like one of my professors worked on Golden Girls, which was like growing up. Like that was because I was always like really into obviously like sitcoms and everything. And I was always like into writing. That's like why I'm like a good comedian, is because it's all writing. But I would like just stay up like late at night at like 12, 13 years old, and I'd be watching reruns of the Golden Girls and just like writing on my laptop. And then like I wrote like a whole pilot for television in college, and like the guy who wrote like the Golden Girls was like grading it. And that so it was a very cool moment.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Reed and I are watching the Golden Girls right now.
I love
and, like
it.
I used to watch it back in the day, but now it's like watching it again.
I think it made me funny. Like I really do. Like I don't know. I didn't have like summers like alone in middle school in my room, just reruns of the Golden Girls on my laptop. Like I did not have like friends. Like
wow. The damn Golden Girls.
Who's your favorite Golden Girl?
That's a tough one. I'm such a casual watcher. I wish fuck.
I like posed this question at like a bar show recently, and it really did start. Everyone thinks
I like the mom one.
The mom. Oh, Sophia, the old lady. She is.
Yeah.
That's the best answer.
Yeah, no, she's hilarious. I like that relationship, and that's just like funny.
It is.
That it's like the living with your mom relationship.
It is so like mother-daughter coded. Yeah. Someone told like Gina DiMaggio, like when we were talking about this, they said, well, you're definitely Dorothy, like the teacher, like one. And she's like, that's not a compliment. like no. And then I was like, yeah, no woman wants to be told she's smart. You know, like what?
No, being smart is good.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. Like, we did fight for that.
You fought for the right to be smart.
to be thought of, to, like, have our brains, like, be considered and, like, not just be. But it's like, no, you want to be, like, either, like, the cute, like, like Rose or, like, the hot, like, sultry Blanche. I mean, hot. These are 60-year-old women.
Yeah.
It's also crazy, like, these women are supposedly only in, like, their 50s, and, like, in the 80s, that's like what your 50s looked like, as opposed to like now they're all like doing Pilates and have like lip injections and are like porn star like hot.
Yeah.
It's so weird, like the way people are. But I think men are aging worse now. Like all the men I know are bald. You are not bald. You're doing pretty well.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say. It's coming. It's coming. I just hit 30 and I'm feeling it coming.
Is your dad bald?
He's not like completely bald. He still has hair.
Okay.
Shout out Andy. You got some hair still.
Yeah.
I believe in it. The engine that can. But no, my mom's brothers have full heads of hair.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to hold out hope.
Yeah.
I don't have the same like type of hair as them, but they
is
do
it
have
thinning
full heads of hair.
or?
I don't know.
Is it like a fear to get bald for men as they start?
Yeah, like I try not to think about it. I try to just be like, it's gonna happen when it happens. Like I shaved my head over the pandemic, so I was just like, okay, if I lose all my hair, this is what I look like.
Okay.
And I was also just like, if my hairline was like getting weak, I was like, I'll just shave everything right now and see if it just grows back stronger.
It's like depressing when men just won't be bald. like when it's going and they won't just shave their head, it's hard to watch.
It becomes like a different type of art, though. Like, I feel like, how are you gonna? Yeah.
Like, are you gonna be a comb over guy? Like,
I'm a big fan of the comb over. Yeah, that shit bangs.
No.
Yeah, shaving your head just makes you like, as long as you're like still young when you go bald, I feel like shaving your head just makes you look tougher. Like,
my dad was like balding for most of my life, and the hair he did have was like very thin and gray, and he would still dye it. And it was like, Mike, and I'd just be like, why won't you just shave your head? And he was like, you can never trust a white man with a shaved head. He's like, I just can't do it. Like, and he told me that like it was just, it stuck in my brain, and I was just like, I don't understand what you mean by this.
Oh wow, I don't understand either. Bald men are usually wise. Sometimes they're mean. If they're young and bald, they're usually they got an edge to them.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's true. My family has rampant bald men, and like my little brother's going bald currently.
Word.
Yeah, like my brother can't really, because my brother has like nonverbal autism, and it's like mostly like my mom like will decide when it's like time for him to get a haircut or like time for him to groom, and I'm like, Mom, why won't you just let him have a shaved head? So it's interesting where it's like actually my mom is the one in denial about him losing his hair. Like, he doesn't care either way. He's like,
damn, that's real. That is real. How is your family? Are you doing okay?
We're like fine. They're coming to. He's on my show tomorrow. By the time this airs, you guys will have missed it. But
we're gonna be on a show with. Oh, sorry. We're gonna be on a show with Billy Procida.
Oh yes, we are.
Jimmy's in Kearny.
Yes.
By the time this comes out, August, I think August 16th.
It is August 16th. It's in my calendar. I'll bring my mom to that too, because she's like from Kearny. But
yeah.
But they will be at our show tomorrow as well, and that'll be fun. My brother will probably like disrupt the show a few times, but it'll be cute.
But that's like one thing I've noticed about you is I'm like, she is a very good sister. You like are so cute. Like,
yeah, he's really my guy. Like, I don't
know. No, you have a very good relationship with your brother.
We just always have. We're like we're only like a year apart, and like I don't have any other siblings, and we grew up like our parents separated very young. So like I've spent more time with him than either of my parents. So like I've just always been like very, I don't know, like it's like it's very interesting because it's like when you grow up your whole life with someone who doesn't talk, so it's like I just always like have to fill the silence, and it's just kind of like me being like, Terry, we're playing this game meeting, and he's just like
I feel like I've always been a quiet person because like other people in my life always talk a lot. So then I feel like I'm always like, yeah, no. Totally. I agree. I'm nodding.
And that's like how it is. I'd be like, I don't know, especially because like when you're so like little, like I'd be like, we're gonna play spies or like whatever, and I'd be like, we're on a mission, these are our code names.
Yeah.
I would just be speaking like utter nonsense to him. I'd be like the chicken nuggets have like, and that'd be like the woman coming to take care of my grandmother. like I assigned everyone in our like family a nickname that was like some item on the McDonald's menu. And like our dad would be like milkshake, and I would just be saying it to him with no response. And I used to tell people like, because he would just like make sounds and like words that weren't like coherent English, and I'd like be like, that's our secret language. Like I would just talk back to him in like gibberish, and I'd be like, guys, I get it, you don't get it. Like because I didn't get it. I used to really like, when I was really little, especially like now I think like we understand like a little bit more about autism spectrum disorder, but it was like I didn't really meet like other people who had like nonverbal like siblings or anything till I got like a little bit older. Like my brother was the first like autism, like his class was the first like class with like autistic, like specific just like autistic children in like our town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so but I would just,
trailblazer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, because this is like the 90s, and I would just be like, I don't think Terry has anything wrong with him. I just think he speaks a different language. And my parents would be like, no, that's not it, Kate. And they're like, because I didn't understand like the concept of like, obviously like language has to be taught. But I think that is like,
that is kind of true, though.
It is true. Like when I say
your child itself, like
when
he
I say
does have a
like,
language that he is speaking and like trying to communicate with.
Now I think that's very like profound. That's like how like kids like view it, where it's like, because again, this is like my buddy, so it's like to me, it's like I always thought of him. Like, I just always viewed him as, like, my equal. And I would just be like, he just doesn't, like, and I think I had, like, an easier time with it than, like, my parents did, where it's, like, they lived, like, and they were older, too, and they had him, like, they've lived their whole life, and now they have to, like, learn about all this shit, and it's obviously not something they, like, thought, like, I don't want to say signed up for, because I hate it when people, like, say that when they're talking about having like disabled children. Like, I don't know, but for me it's like life has just always been this way. Like, I've never had to adjust or adapt. Like, so like when other people would always be like, you're so good with him, or like you're so patient, and I'm like, yeah, like why wouldn't I be? I don't know, it is a compliment I get a lot, but it's just such a weird compliment where I'm like, they're like, oh, like, you're just so good to your brother. I'm like, what am I going to do? Kick him? Like, what are you going to I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's pretty real.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself being in Jersey forever?
I don't know. I've always wanted to, like, it's interesting you say that because, like, the biggest thing is I wouldn't be able to live away from my brother. Like,
yeah,
I would love to like branch out and go somewhere else for a while, but like I just don't think it would be realistic. Like, so maybe Manhattan for like a couple years, Manhattan or Brooklyn, but at this point now too, I'm almost 30. So I feel like Jersey City or Hoboken's probably as like far away from my home in Montclair that I'm ever gonna get.
New York City is still basically
New Jersey.
New York City is basically, I think it should be annexed into New Jersey, I think.
I agree, because I think like people from like the state of New York, like upstate or whatever, or Staten Island, I feel like they're not, like, I feel like I have a closer connection to New York City than they really do. Like, I feel like I'm more New York than they are.
Yeah.
Even though I'm from New Jersey.
For sure. And I think, like, maybe you cut off, like, Jersey at Mahwah. And then you just add that to, like, upstate.
I agree.
And it's just called upstate. It's not even New York anymore.
Hard. I have gotten lost, like, in, like, that section of New Jersey and ended up in, like, upstate, like, so many times when I was younger. And now it is kind of crazy, like, to say that, like, I've gotten lost while driving. And it's like, what do you mean? There's a map in your phone. Like, it's so hard to get lost. Yeah. But it is, I think they're really, like, the same state is upstate New York and upper New Jersey. And it is not at all the New Jersey that I live in. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Do you believe in central New Jersey?
I do believe in central Jersey, but I'm not from New Jersey.
That's why.
I'm from the border of New Jersey.
Yeah,
I grew up in
the
Warwick.
Area we're talking about. Yeah, I love Warwick. I do.
Yeah, Warwick's great. Shout out Appleland.
It's so cute. But that's basically like Vernon. Like, it's the same thing. Yeah.
What's your favorite part about Jersey?
I don't know. I really think it's the best place in the world to live. Like, I've been like in Europe telling people, I'm like, if you come to America, you have to come to New Jersey. It's the best state in the world. And they're like, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to say it because I am a North Jersey girl, and like, just like, it's in my blood to say that we are the better part. But I do think the shore is the best part of New Jersey. Like, I love the shore. I could absolutely, my parents met down there. I could absolutely live down there. But I don't know. We also have the closeness to New York City. So like all that, obviously, like I think the quality of like what you get living in New Jersey is so good because you have like so many options. There's like 15 malls within 15 malls. There's 3 malls within 15 minutes of my house. There are a lot of malls. Like we have so much. Like you can really never be bored. But I would say the best part of New Jersey is the people. Like I love I like love that we're all just like trash. I really do. I love that I love how fucking nuts we actually are. And like you know how like Florida has the rep for having like the crazy people. But I think that's because they all used to live in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone.
They caught a charge, and then they went down to Florida.
Yeah, and it's like truly only the strong survive in Jersey.
This is very true.
Florida is the people who couldn't hack it in New Jersey.
Yeah. My uncle used to live in Florida. Shout out R.I.P. Uncle Kenny.
R.I.P. Uncle Kenny.
Yo, he was a funny dude, but he went down to Florida
to die.
Lifelong bartender. No, he was all about the time, the good time.
Yeah, okay.
He was like, the good time is what it's about.
It is.
And I respect that.
I
respect people who are just like, year-long sunshine, good times, like, it's available, like, I'll take it. Like, why not? It's available. Like, if it's on the table, good. You know.
And I feel like Florida's sticky.
Yeah, for sure.
And I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like that there's a lot of fruit and, like, produce, probably.
Produce is good.
Yeah, that's like my biggest factor of if I would ever move to Florida.
I thought you were gonna say like move to a place like every time you check out an apartment, you're like, well, what's the produce action like?
Oh yeah.
Like, no, is there a farmer's market? Like,
I watch a lot of Produce Beat. No. Yeah, it is. It's because that's the worst part of Jersey, probably, is that, like, you're getting your veggies a lot of the times from, like, the South and, like,
but we have Taylor
Central
Ham here.
America. That doesn't help me as a vegan.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine being vegan and living in New York or New Jersey. New York, maybe, because I feel like there's some health conscious people, but living in New Jersey, like, you can't have our pizza or our breakfast sandwiches. Like, that was probably my second thing I love most about New Jersey was the food.
Yeah, there's a lot of imitations, you know? So, like, you definitely simulate it, you know?
Have you always been a vegan?
No, not always. Just since moving to Jersey full time when I moved to Rutherford, I, like, stopped buying things that weren't vegan and started cooking vegan.
Why? Is it annoying that people are always like asking you?
No, I think it's a cool conversation. It's kind of like gross sometimes, but I'm like, if people want to know, I'm just like, I was having like stomach issues and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I was just like, I want to be healthier. I also like cancer runs in my family and like heart attacks run in my family. So I was just like, why don't I try this? Also, yeah, I don't know. I'd been exposed to it like in the past, being friends with people who are like pescatarians.
Is your lady a vegan?
No, she just goes along with it.
I feel like
she likes the food, but like if we're out or something, she might get something.
Okay.
And we're both not difficult. Like, I think some vegans would be like, you're not a vegan.
Yeah, I feel like it's like dating a sober person. It's like you have to like kind of be on the same page because it's like your habits have to be somewhat synced up. Yeah. I
feel like that would be a good comparison.
Yeah.
I'm like a vegan who went vegan because he had like, if I was like somebody with a drinking problem,
I agree, yeah,
I would be like, oh, it didn't get that bad, you know? But I'm gonna be sober now. But like at a wedding, I might have a drink.
Some people,
like, I feel like that's how it is with veganism. It's just
yeah.
like I'm like, it's in front of me, like. Or like there's a situation where I'm at somebody's house and they cooked me dinner and it's just like, I'm not going to be like, yo, I'm vegan. Like, why didn't you ask me my dietary restrictions before cooking me this dinner? Like, you know, because I know there's like definitely kind of a
it's something you
monoculture.
Yeah, it's like you do have to check with people, I feel like. It's like have to tiptoe around. I don't know. I used to live with 3 women, and one was a vegan and the other one was a vegetarian. And then it was just me and this other girl who like ate meat and eggs. But for some reason, there would always be like eggs in the like fridge. And it would be like 7 cartons of eggs. And I'd be like, Issa, it's only the 2 of us using these eggs. But I don't know, but it was like, 'cause it sucks because also, I mean, maybe we're just bad at communicating, but like it's hard to like then combine on groceries when people have like such different like, and you just never know. I'm like, are we like a milk house? Are we not? And now we have to have no space in this fridge for like everybody's different imitations or.
It's rough if you can't agree on what milk you want.
It is rough. It's so rough. So rough.
You got the whole milk and the skim. Then you got the oat. Then you got some almond milk.
Yeah. I am a whole milk girl, which is like, I know, that's like hardcore. That's like the highest of the milks. But
I'm a vegan, but go off on the whole milk.
No, exactly. I don't know. I really can't do like the almond milk. It's crazy where it's like, I feel like everyone's flirting with veganism right now because they're just like milk was like the first thing to go. Like so many people are like, no, I don't drink real milk. Like that's disgusting. I drink like the fucking fruit milk or almonds. Are almonds fruit? I don't know. Nut milk is what it is. They're nuts. Yeah. What are nuts? That's a grain?
No, nuts are just nuts.
But like, what part of like the food pyramid do they?
They're very high in protein and fat.
They are.
That's why they're good for milks because they have protein and fat.
Got it. So then,
And then they add sugar, which makes it kind of effed up.
Are you an almond or a coconut milk? Water guy?
Like if I'm just going off of taste, probably oat milk. Like I'll take the processed ass oat milk with all those damn chemicals that make it taste so creamy and good. Yeah,
do you like I'll put it in my smoothies. That's like as far as I go because milk in a smoothie is actually insane. Like who would do that?
Oh yeah.
But like where else do you put it like in your diet? Like is it just like in your coffee or do you like drink it like with cereal? Like
yeah, I would use it with cereal if I had cereal. It's kind of already sweet, so it's like a little overload, I guess, with this sugary cereal. But yeah, I'll use it in like recipes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I might not use like a sweet oat milk for, I don't know, like making some kind of stew or something like that.
Are you a big like cooker?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, I'm not.
It makes life very hard because like I just want to like have that dedication to the food and like make interesting new things all the time, and like it's a new menu today. Yeah, like what are we cooking up? But yeah, I cook a lot. I bake when I'm in the mood.
You bake vegan treats
all the time.
So no eggs.
I just had these edible blondies that I made with some weed oil that I made.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they were very good.
You're like pastry chef for weed.
Oh yeah, no, I do it. I definitely do it a fair amount. The issue is I don't know how to dose. I do all the processing by myself, so then I'm like, well, I don't know how much this oil actually is. Like,
exactly.
I'm using like this amount of weed here for the mathematicians out here. Somebody's gonna go crunch this. Maybe we'll get AI to crunch this later.
Ooh.
Okay, so AI. I took like a jar of coconut oil, right? And then I took, probably a quarter of weed, decarboxylated. That means it's activated. If you're at home and you're wondering what that word means, that means it is activated and you could just eat it like it is. Like you could literally just chomp on weed like it's a snack. But we're going to infuse it with the oil. So I put it in my machine.
Your machine. Okay.
I have a machine. A Levo machine.
Oh.
That was like during stimulus check times. It was during a different time.
Yeah.
I had some like podcasting gigs. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm chilling, bro. And then like gas went up like $1. And I was like, wow, the economy's different now. But yeah, so tell me how strong that is.
I don't think I used to.
People at home in the comments.
I used to make and sell edibles when I was in college, which is like crazy because now I like don't smoke.
That's wild.
I think I just fried my brain, especially also because during the pandemic, that's like all I would do is I would just like eat edibles and like sleep all day. But I think that I would sell them to people, and some people would get like wicked high, like hallucinate, and then other people would be like they didn't affect me, and like a lot of people are like I do kind of think people's tolerances are different when it comes to edible, like different than your smoking tolerance, I feel. But like, also when you're just like at home, just like cookies were my favorite because cookies, everyone says that cookies are stronger, but it's like when it's at home and you're using like fucking like canola butter or whatever, there's no way to figure out what end of like the brownie or like the cookie that got all the weed, like when you really think about it, like it's like because you're just like in your fucking kitchen as opposed to like the stuff that's like being sold to you and packaged now from like all the dispensaries. Like when we were in the pandemic, my thing was I was always buying the nerd ropes, like and I like didn't know that I was like really eating like way too much like I'd have like half of it and I'd like fully like bad, and like I have OCD, so like for me, like weed just like tends to make the compulsive and like the intrusive thoughts like a lot worse. And I would just be going down an absolute rabbit hole, and then I would sleep for like 16 hours. And now I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. But that was, I mean, what else were you gonna do during like lockdown other than like give yourself a panic attack? Like I guess so, like you're just so bored. Like
for sure. I also think like your tolerance goes up so quickly with weed. I don't think people realize that. Like maybe people do realize it because their checkbook realizes it when they're like buying more weed. But yeah, like if you eat edibles all the time, then like you just end up like your body is just like, wait, like we don't even need to like we don't need to make whatever the thing is that does this. Like they're done. They've reached the limit. Like it's good. Like I don't know if there's science behind that, but I definitely believe that there is too much weed. There's also just like the way it interacts, and like you could try to like go by the strains, but it's very tough to know, especially if like you're very like you have temperamental reactions to weed.
I guess. I don't know. I've just never, I'm really sorry. I'm sure a lot of like stoners can get mad when I say this, but I really
No, it's not truth.
I cannot tolerate a person who asks like what strain it is before we start smoking. Like if we are in a social setting, like and then they're just like, what kind of, like I already know that's not a person I need in my life.
They're
like,
just trying not to be schizophrenic.
I get it, and I get it's a healthy boundary to set, but like I just already know they are too type A, and we are not gonna get along.
Just say Gorilla Glue. Does that make you feel better? Like it's Gorilla Glue. Are you happy I told you? Like, you're more of a drinker than a smoker, right?
Oh yeah, and I smoked before I drank too, like for like years. Like I was never gonna drink because I was like very like afraid of like I have the addiction gene. I grew up like very much around it, and I was always like, I am never gonna do this. And then I tried, and I was like, this is what I was afraid of.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Like from like my first drink, I was like, oh, this shit's for me. Like it was really like this like magical like warmth over my whole body. Like yeah, and it never looked back.
What's your drink of choice?
Vodka. It was my first drink too, so you know, stayed faithful. I love vodka. It does make me mean, but but it's like
mean in what way? Like existentially, like at the world, or like at people?
At people. Like I'm definitely like, but I have started to realize that that's just who I am. Like I don't know,
you're
like
your true self.
No, but it's like, but like it makes me feel good because now it's like now I know I don't have to cut out the vodka. Like, and I'm like I don't know. I've just noticed like most of my like nights that like I get into like an argument. Like more so maybe wine will make me a little sad, but like beer, it's like normally that like that's a chill night. I'm just like being like a divorced dad, like it's like, but like vodka is probably like I'm gonna like fuck somebody up. But last year I was in a terrible living situation with my roommates, and I had like a really bad like explosion on one of them, and I was totally sober for it. I was like, oh, that's good. Like, it's just who I am.
You're true to yourself.
Like, I don't need the vodka. I don't need the vodka to make me like fight somebody. Like, so now I know that I can keep drinking vodka seltzers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What is something that you're obsessed with right now? Like at this current state in your life. It could be like pop culture. It could be like deep dives. It could be like something you're reading. It could be just some concept you're trying to explore or a project.
I'm becoming an astrology girl.
Wow.
I know. It's
never too late. Astrology will tell you.
Yeah, I've been casting spells like under like and like
spells.
Yeah, spells under like new moons and like full moons and stuff. Like, I'm becoming one of them. But it's like, it's bad because I really am only getting into the part of astrology that has to do with me. Like, when other people tell me their sign, I'm like, I don't know anything about that unless it has to do with like one of the signs that are already in my chart.
That's when you're 10 years in.
Yeah,
Start
exactly.
To be able to recite everybody's signs.
Yes. But I would say that, and it's mostly from TikTok. So it's like, I think I'm like the worst kind of astrology girl. Yeah. Because it could totally be a phase. Like, I used to be religious, and that like was kind of a phase. So like, maybe this is all like, maybe in like 10 years I'll fully be an atheist. Like,
what religion were you?
I was Catholic.
Word.
I was thinking about that like on the walk here, how it's like, because now I have like, it's interesting when like you used to be religious and then like I was like hard in the paint. I like used to like bring it up in conversations. I was like I went to Catholic school my whole life. I taught like CCD for 7 years. Like, I used to be super pro-life. Like, could never imagine. Like, I never went to the like walk for life, but I was like very like close like a few times. And it's like, now it's like I couldn't imagine keeping the kid. Like, I don't know, but it's interesting now because it's like I'm not like an atheist. I believe in God. I'm just not religious. But like, now people are becoming religious like in their mid-20s. Like, they partied and now they're like finding Christ, and now they keep trying to like save me. And I'm like, but baby, I know all this. Like, it would be one thing like, and it kind of makes me think like, oh, like maybe like there is no hope for me because I was like on the path, left the path. Like, I don't think anything could bring me back at this point. Yeah. So,
I don't know.
Yeah.
God is good. I think it's funny because like, you don't have to observe religion and like all these gods are still there, right?
Right. Yeah.
All these other people believe in you, so like, why don't I have to believe in you? You're there.
Exactly.
You're real.
Exactly. Like, why do you need so much validation? Like, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, God. Like,
yeah. I feel like it is just a networking thing.
Yeah.
They're basically the Freemasons. Like, I feel like people just go to church to like have jobs and be like, I'm down on my luck. Like, I need help from the community.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick. Like, I'm gonna help my community.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's very, but homogenized. I feel like you just know kind of who's going to be at your church unless you're at a very diverse church or temple or mosque or something like that.
Do diverse churches and temples and mosques exist? I feel like they're all there because they're the same demographic.
I don't know. Are there more white people at the mosque or black people at the temple?
White people at the mosque, for sure. For sure. You can totally, because white people have no culture, so they're searching for it.
White Muslims.
So it's like
you
could totally bring a white person to like convince them, like, you could convince a white person to become a Muslim, be like, this is like everything you've searched for your whole life, you'll become theirs. I feel like selling a black person on Judaism, like, I feel like that's a harder pitch. Like, you know,
some of it's like that tied to Israel, Africa. Like,
yeah.
There's some like Amari Stoudemire, famous black Jew.
Like, it does happen, but it is a lot rarer, I would say.
Yeah. Lenny Kravitz, I think he's a black Jew.
I think that would be the only explanation for the name. But like, but is it? But like, are his parents black and Jewish, or did he convert to Judaism?
I think one of his parents was probably Jew. That's a good question.
Right?
I'm not going to speculate.
Unless he changed his name to Lenny.
to be more Jewish to make it in the music industry. He's like, you know what my name isn't? Jewish enough.
A black guy named Lenny Kravitz is actually insane. And I feel like because he's so talented, we don't spend enough time thinking about how funny that is.
Yeah, no. It does sound like somebody who went to my temple.
It sounds like he was
definitely Jewish.
It sounds like
I feel like that's Jewish dad.
It does sound like he was trying to be Jewish with the name. Like,
yeah. Shout out Lenny Kravitz. He's sick. Damn. I think we're getting to the end.
Oh wow.
We talked about Lenny Kravitz. we're basically there, right?
We've touched all the bases we possibly could.
Who are some comedians that you love in the scene, who you think are just killing it?
In our scene?
In our scene.
Oh, okay.
Who are you trying to give a shout out to? Figure we'll put some other people on.
Okay, I would say Cassidy O'Malley, bestie girl. She's doing it. Gina, I'm just gonna list all my friends.
You can do that.
Gina DiMaggio, shout out.
There's no rules to the shout out.
Steve Picaro, Josh Wells, all them. Alex Grubard is great. All the guys at Pet Shop in Jersey City. And Colonial again. Shout out to them. Very cool spot they have.
I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
You didn't make bad choices.
Thank you.
Those were very good choices.
Thank you. Oh, Monty Mason.
Oh, the goat.
Yeah, the goat. Yeah. Goated Monty Mason goes without saying. Yeah.
He's in that New York.
Oh.
He's in upstate. He get the cutoff.
He is.
In Jersey.
But I know when
but he is in Jersey.
But he is in Jersey.
Get the cutoff.
But it's technically the same place.
Technically. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This is dope.
When is Eyes Up here? Do you know the dates off the top of your head?
Yes, I do. July 19th, 24th, 25th, and 26th is the finale at the Williams Center in Rutherford.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Any other big headliners? Any other headliners you're excited about on the festival?
I think I listed them all already.
Yeah, they have been listed.
Yes.
Well, this has been another episode of Sessions with Mary Jane. I hope you guys had fun being back. We'll be back, I think, every Wednesday we decided on. And yeah, just look for episodes. And yeah, we'll have a bunch of fun guests like Kate. Thank you, Kate.